What's up, everybody? It is Juan from Raven Drone Solutions here with another video. As with most of my videos that I do in the car, they're very off the cuff, unscripted. So I want to talk to you a little bit about things that drone pilots need to stop doing. This is something that I've noticed very early on when I started in the drone industry, and it's something that, I mean, I want to create, and I want to help create a good community for pilots, just like with many other drone pilots that I know. But unfortunately, the drone industry is plagued with many issues, right? Now, one of those is social media, which brings me to my first point. Guys, you need to stop being petty on social media, okay? It's crazy how like guys as young as 16 to men as old as like in their 70s that I've seen can be so petty to each other on social media. Now I get it, it's social media, it's Facebook, you know, not a lot of polite discourse happens there. But the thing is, in a lot of these pages, you know, these are professionals. These are guys that fly for actual business. They don't do it for fun. The majority of them. And it's crazy to me how a lot of these guys, they berate each other for the dumbest things on social media. And the thing is, and this is the embarrassing part, most of the drone industry, like 95%, I mean, if who's ever watching, if you can fact check this, you know, please, and chime in on the comment below. But most of it's guys. Most of the drone industry is made up of men. And it's crazy how a lot of these men, quote unquote men, are acting like a bunch of high school girls that just bicker and talk crap about each other. I mean, there was one time I was selling my Phantom 4 RTK, and obviously I try to get the most that I can out of it, and I was expecting that people would be like, hey, listen, that might be a little high, but can you bring down the price and, you know, we can come to an agreement, which I would have been okay with. And all I saw was, mind you, it was barely used. It was a Phantom 4 RTK. And you had guys basically clowning me. You had guys saying, "Oh, dude, I won't buy for more than $3,000." I'm like, "Dude, leave! Like, go away!" You realize it's RTK with base station and all the gets and gadgets, right? And one guy even went to my website and put me on display for everybody to see. Like, well, one, I had nothing to be ashamed about, but it was the fact that somebody went to that level. I'm like, "Come on, really, dude? Like, are you really that immature that you would go to that level?" I mean, and the answer is yes. There's many guys that are like that, unfortunately. So, I mean, that's the first one. Stop being petty to each other on social media. The next one, be a professional. I've seen so many guys that they don't look or act like professionals. And you want to be taken seriously. You want to make money out of this. Well, you're not going to make money if you don't look and act like a professional. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to a certain level where, you know, you're always in uniform or something like that. Maybe not. But the fact is, guys, you know, your business, you are a reflection of your business. If you show up to every meeting in shorts and flip-flops, well, I mean, you might get a certain kind of customer, but it might not be the high-paying ones, unless if you actually know them personally already. But to me, look, I try to always look and act like a professional, because the fact is, I am my business. I am the face of my business. Okay, nobody's the face of my business. This is me. All right, so that means I got to put in the work. And you know, if I don't show a certain amount of professionalism, then why would anybody want to hire me for my services? Right? I mean, it wouldn't make sense. So be a professional. Look like one. If you need to get a uniform, do it. You don't have to go overboard with it, but just a simple, you know, shirt, pants, closed-toed shoes, you know, something that shows that you are, like, you're a business, whether, you know, maybe also a hat. In my case, look, I have my company t-shirt with logo. I got a drone pilot in the back. So for me, people know exactly who I am, and I have certain colors that go with my company. So that's definitely something to consider. The next thing, and that is, make sure you price your services correctly. Because nothing will screw up the industry faster than pilots that put their services so low, like a drop in the bucket, basically, and then you know, screws it up for everybody else. You know, one of the biggest problems that I see in the drone industry is, you have people that, they price their services so low, or they're willing to accept the very low-paying gigs. And then we wonder, why is it that a lot of times it's really hard for so many of us to make money? Well, it's because you have pilots that accept very bottom of the bucket pay. Now, don't get me wrong, I've also accepted bottom of the bucket pay too, but usually, if it involved a company, usually I'm like, hey, listen, I did the first few because I get it, like it was probation or whatever, but if you're not going to bring up the price, then I'm leaving. There's other companies that, they had like basically false advertising. And they said that, no, like you can make up to X amount. Well, I found out very, very quickly that was total BS, so I just left them. And if there's people that reach out to me directly and they ask me for my services and they want to bring the price down, I usually tell them no. Unless if it's somebody that has, like if it's a realtor or a project manager or something like that, somebody that's going to give me consistent work, I don't mind doing either demo or something at a reduced price the first time around, because it creates that relationship. Now, would I do it for a one-off? Absolutely not, because I got to eat. I got to make money. So make sure you price your services correctly, because one of the biggest things that'll really screw up your chances at succeeding is when you're basically eating into your profits. Like, it costs you money to work. So, for example, when I was working with Beast 360, which I would never suggest on anybody, is the fact that, I was working with them, and what they were paying basically didn't equate to anything, because I wasted, basically that money that I made, I spent on gas, because gas is expensive, and also the amount of driving that I had to do was just insane. And, I would tell these guys, hey, listen, you have to bump up the pay, but obviously they didn't pay attention. I would never recommend working with B360, by the way. But there's other companies out there that, in my opinion, kind of screw pilots over. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to take it or not take it. Which brings me to my next point, and that is, stop complaining about companies that don't pay you well. All right. If you're a contractor, you have the opportunity. You have the option to say no. Okay. I see a lot of guys post on Facebook and all that stuff. Oh, droners gave me a mission 100 miles away and they're only paying $50. Or, oh, blah, 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 drone base or drone up, the pay is so crappy because, this and that. Buddy, you don't have to take it. And if it's 100 miles away, then put your settings for something closer. A lot of you guys need to understand that, yes, those companies, the pay is very, very, very low. And it's because they're one of these Uber-like companies. They're not going to pay you a whole lot. Okay, it's just the truth. Because here's the other thing: all you're doing is flying the mission. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to do post-processing. You don't have to do anything. So naturally, those to do that, it's going to be quite low. You're not really going to receive a whole lot of money. Those companies, in reality, all they're good for is paid practice. It's just to get you experience. But you know for a fact, very, very quickly, that you're not going to really make a whole lot of money off of that. Okay, the only people that make any kind of money
in 10 miles,
is if they're not really
onto Palmetto Park Road.
is if they're not really trying to make a living out of it. This is just as a hobby or to get gas money. Okay, that's really all these companies are good for. So, look, if you see something that you don't like, just leave it. Just don't even pay any attention to it. Why are you gonna make your life all complicated and get your panties in a twist for not, because they sent you something that you don't like? Well, don't take it. That simple. All right, don't take it. I get a lot of things sent my way, and I'm like, no. Too much. The juice is not worth the squeeze. It's too much work for very little pay. There's times where they say, hey, we want you to do mapping missions of construction sites once every 2 weeks, and it's 7 different sites, and you're only getting paid $100 each time. But the sites range from they span Miami all the way up to Palm Beach. Well, that's not really worth my time. It just isn't. The amount that I'm making for that, basically with the gas and tolls and everything else, and, God forbid I decide to eat something along the way. Well, basically I'm not making anything, and that's just the truth. So, guys, if you don't like what you're getting paid, then do something about it. Okay, go out there and find your own clients. like for example, when I was working with this one company, this media company that I'm not going to name, but I was getting a lot of real estate, but it was literally just real estate, mostly residential. I mean, what they were paying was crap. I'll be honest with you. It was utter crap, and I saw after a while that I'm like, okay, these guys, I'm not making any money with them, and yeah, I mean, in many ways, I kind of felt like I was getting screwed because I was putting in a lot of work, and I really wasn't taking much home. So, and the other thing, it was just my time. It was just, dude, for the amount of time that I'm spending at each location and trying to make sure I get everything right, because if not, they get all mad. Well, look, good work costs money, and they weren't willing to pay that, so I left. And for me, what I decided to do was, even though real estate is not what I want to focus on because it's just not enough money in it, in my opinion, but I do offer it, and I charge what I charge. If people don't like it, well, they don't have to use my services, and that's okay. But I made the price that I think is fair because I still have to drive over there. I gotta prep. I gotta do all kinds of stuff. Okay. So at the end of the day, look, if you're not going to give me my money's worth, then I'm not going to do the job. So yeah, look, that's just the way it works. If you don't like it, then get your own clients. If you don't like what Drone Base is paying, which most people don't, well, then go out there and find your own clients. If you want to do construction or whatever, do it. If you want to go and work with insurance adjusters or whatever, go call somebody and see how you can do that. I mean, there's so many ways you can make money. But you just have to get out there and you gotta make it happen. Okay, nobody's gonna lay out the groundwork for you. Okay, and that brings me to my last point, and that is that I see a lot of drone pilots, they're very lazy. Okay, I actually asked Dylan Gorman once. I'm like, how many actual licensed pilots actually make any real money? And he said less than 1%. And in many ways, I can understand why. And it's because there's many people that they think, oh, well, all I'm gonna be doing is flying drones, and that is not true. You're going to be doing a lot of work. The amount of work that I got to do on any given day is insane. Okay, I mean, I got to go out looking for clients. I gotta, like right now. I mean, I just finished doing a cell tower inspection. That takes time to get to and everything set up. Make sure you do everything correctly. I mean, it's work. It's a lot of work. Also, just knowing how to fly correctly. Making sure you understand all the rules and regulations, making sure that all your stuff is prepped, so that way when you arrive on site, you're all set to go. I've ran into the problem a couple times where I didn't do my due diligence,
north and half a mile.
And
you're still on the fastest
and it wasn't a good look on me. Actually, I almost lost a customer because of that, because I didn't do my due diligence. So I mean, guys, just stop being lazy and understand that this is a lot of work you got to do. Okay, it's not for the faint of heart. And as any drone pilot that's been in the industry for a while, and I'm talking one that actually does this for a living, I'll tell you, it is hard. It's a lot of work. Okay, for me to just be able to start getting cell tower inspections, it took a while. It took a lot of back and forth with this company that I'm working with. Okay, and yeah, there was many times that I did several inspections and I didn't get paid for it. Okay, because they needed to see if I was able to get the job done. And a lot of times, yeah, it's taking time out of my busy schedule. I got to plan things out. I gotta lay out the groundwork. I got to make sure that all my T's are crossed before I actually get out and fly a mission. Okay, it's a lot of things you got to do, and a lot of drone pilots that I've seen are just far too lazy to do anything. They're far too lazy to do the actual work, and that's why a lot of guys don't make any more money. There's many guys that they're not willing to do what it takes. For me, I told myself and I told my wife, I was like, look, we're in this to win this. We're not in this to just to not lose. We're in this to win this. So if we're gonna do this, then I gotta be able and willing to do whatever's necessary. Okay, so I mean, if that means that I'm gone a good amount of time because I'm out flying cell towers or doing inspections in remote areas or whatever, then you know what, so be it, because that's what I signed up for. Okay, there's a lot of things out there that you can do as a drone pilot, and you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You can actually form your own market, but cannot be lazy with this, because the fact is, the work that you're not willing to do, your competition will do it, and they will take you out of the market if you don't do it. So, look, a lot of times it's not as sexy as it sounds, and that was not me, that was a truck. Look, a lot of times the work is not as sexy as it sounds. Okay, a lot of people think that, oh, you're a drone guy, you're a drone pilot, that sounds so awesome, it must be so fun, and it is fun, I love it, but it's not always sexy. Okay, sometimes I have to drive somewhere. Maybe it's not a very nice neighborhood. Maybe it took me forever to be able to access the site because there was issues with the locks or whatever the case might be. Maybe there was workers around. I don't know. I mean, there's a million things that can happen. And it's hot. There's mosquitoes everywhere. Like one tower, one site is very far from the other, so I have to drive a lot, and maybe I'm not getting a lot of mileage compensation, or whatever the case might be. There's a million things that can happen. Well, for many people, that's a game ender right there. That's like, all right, that's it, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. For me, I told myself, well, listen, you got to do what it takes. Okay, obviously you got to see the reality, and if it's costing you more to work, then maybe this isn't the best thing for you. But at the end of the day, you got to be willing to put in the work, or if not, somebody else is going to do it, and they're going to be where you want to be. So keep that in mind, guys. Anyways, guys, that is it for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Send me one of these. Comment below and tell me what is something that you think pilots should stop doing. Is there anything that I missed? Feel free to share some knowledge. I'm sure we'd greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next